This past year, my dad, age 98, had a hemorrhagic stroke. At first, the doctors held out hope for recovery. He was in great shape for a 98-year-old, still in the gym every morning. Just 2 days before, we had taken him to a museum. After 2 hours, I had to rest my feet. He was still going strong. The signs of the stroke's impact were everywhere. His interest in eating withered. You could see in his eyes that he was less and less interested in living. He soon slipped into a deep fugue, clearly dying from where I stood. When my wife and I shared what we observed with my sister, she was upset and called the physician, who persisted that he could recover. We backed off. The pressure was on, though. They were pushing to transfer him to a rehab facility. His physician determined we had to get some nutrition in him. Since he showed no sign of wanting to eat, they inserted a feeding tube. He pulled it out. They inserted it again, and he once again pulled it out. They informed us that they'd have to restrain his hands after they inserted it a third time. When I witnessed this, I was deeply disturbed. I asked for a consult with the palliative care physician. One look and she ordered the restraints removed. From her perspective, everything in his chart indicated he was dying. Pulling out the feeding tube was just another sign. You see, when you're dying, your organs begin to shut down. Forcing food into the system is akin to torture. I know that at this juncture families polarize around what to do. Luckily, my siblings and my father's wife were able to agree to transfer him to a hospice room in the hospital where we sat vigil for the next 7 days. No special interventions, just a caring staff who attended to us as much as to his comfort. We were with him when he died, sitting with his body for some time as a witness. I felt privileged to be there. Were we at peace? Not entirely. On more than one occasion, each of us questioned whether we were complicit in his death. Simply put, there's little in our culture to support these kinds of decisions. Few role models, no permission or even encouragement to let people go when their bodies clearly have thrown in the towel. Looking back, I realized that the most patient-centered action occurred when the hospital staff were nudged to stop caring in medical terms and begin caring in human terms. We must be willing to provide a realistic picture to patients and families about what it means to die peacefully, to die with dignity. Then we must have the courage to turn off the machines, stop the interventions, and be willing to accept that medicine is not always about averting death, that at the end of life, real healing may be about shepherding us through the dying process.